you go on patrol. It's a continuous thing. That's to find out to try to, find out the location of your enemy.
Right.
And once you make contact, then you really use their position back or your position back, and you pull back. So it was just a routine patrol. And usually when you make contact, it's like a firefight, because they don't want you to come too close.
Right.
And usually, in some cases, I understand they let the point man pass if they want to ambush the whole unit. But this was, we were on a squad patrol, which is like 10, 12 men. So, in fact, during that time, I had a sense of, your sixth sense kick in. It's like intuition. So you feel that there's something, out of place. By then I had been on the front for 3 or 4 months then. See, so I actually 5 months. So I was really, what they call a seasoned comeback soldier.
You were experienced.
Yeah, I was into it. That was my complete focus. And so when I sense something unusual, like I feel somebody's there or something, I would fire off a couple of shots. And if they were there, usually they would return fire because they would think that I had discovered them. You get it?
Yeah.
So that I did. So when I fired off a couple of shots on that day, there was incoming fire. Now, automatically, everyone knows that that's when you get out of there.
Right.
Especially now if you're on a patrol. But if you're on a mission to take the position, the enemy position, you keep going. If you're on the defensive. So I yelled. Well, I didn't have to yell. When I popped off a couple of shots, the other guys knew. And so, they automatically pulled back to the base of the hill that we were arcing, that we were going up. And
because you were on patrol. You weren't on a mission, you were on patrol.
You're on patrol, yes.
Okay.
So when I pulled back, after firing a couple of shots, the last I saw of Billy he was actually, looked like, I don't know, but he was firing his weapon. And I thought he was right behind me because I recall hearing him get out, pull back. All right, let's. And so I just assumed that we left the ridge line at the same time. You know what I mean, ridge line, right? Going up the ridge over here, yeah.
It was a mountain ridge.
Yeah, right, so you want to get off the ridge.
And you were coming down from the mountain ridge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you jump. Because you have to roll down a bit because you're going down slope, the slope of the hill, or mountain, whichever way it was. And at the base of the hill is when you organize, And so he wasn't among us. So you get spread out, you get scattered out. And those that we had to recross a rice paddy in order to pull, probably about 50 yards to the other side, and that's where that was our rallying point. And actually it was there that we really knew our position. So from there we proceeded to our unit. And that's when we discovered that he was missing,
And everyone else was there.
Yeah, everyone else was there. I think we got one wounded. Yeah, we got one wounded, which was, I don't know if it was it wasn't a stateside wound, So that means they patch you up and send you back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you realize that he was missing, and then what happens if you don't have a person from your unit, what do you do?
Well, you report it, missing, one missing in action. We didn't know whether he was killed or what. So he'd go down as a missing in action.
And what was the last time that you saw him? Did you tell me that you saw him reaching into his shirt?
Yeah, it looked like, but he could have been holding his weapon, for firing. Like I'm falling at the same time, right?
Right.
So it was like a split second thing. So it wasn't. It just. Only thing I know, if you was in a position where you would be in if you was firing your weapon.
You weren't. You weren't watching him. You just glanced and thought you saw him.
Yeah. Right.
Firing a weapon or doing something on that ridge.
Yeah.
Where was the ridge?
I don't understand the question.
Where was this location where he was?
I have no idea. It was just on a hill.
It's on a hill in South Korea or North Korea?
Oh yeah, that was in South Korea. Yeah.
Okay, because he's listed as missing in North Korea for some reason.
It could have been. It could have been because, see, as a soldier, we knew that there was a 38 parallel.
Right.
But the 38 parallel wasn't as famous as it is after, when they started doing the peace negotiation. That was when the 38 parallel became, fixed in our mind, because that was where the peace negotiation, peace talk was negotiated, right at Talmud, which happened to sit on the 38 parallel. So we were back and forth. We would, on the offense, we would proceed north of the 38. And the Chinese North Korea, mostly Chinese, they would push us back. And then we would push them back. So it was like a push-back thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
there wasn't any clear line.
Yeah. So we were in, that was more than likely, it was in the north of the 38 parallel. It wasn't, I don't know how far north, but it was, it probably was north. According to my chronological, when I was doing research, it's north. At that time, in July, we were north of the 38.
Which is North Korea then?
Yeah, which is part of North Korea.
So you could easily go from the north to the south. There weren't any dividing lines to show you.
It wasn't at the time, we wasn't concerned about, it was just one side pushing the other side back,
Okay.
And the Chinese, they had more manpower than we had.
And do you remember them doing anything in response to the fact that he was missing? Do you remember anything further?
You mean you mean outside the American?
Yeah, once you reported that he was missing, was there anything else?
That was it.
That was it.
That was it. That's as far as I knew. I never knew anything else. I knew there was some patrols sent out the following day to that same area. But I don't know the results of that.
Okay.
Because everything that we learned afterwards was rumors.
Right.
Some guy could say, yeah, I saw a body, and it could have been the body. But usually, your enemies, the Chinese or North Korean, they'll script the body, take what they want.
Right.
Probably not too close, and just push him, leave him there, either push him off the ridge line somewhere,
Yeah. Because
they had no use for the body. Now, they might have taken the dog tags.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But if they took the dog tag, I imagine they would have turned them over to the Department of Defense.
Maybe now. Now it seems like things are happening, but then they weren't so quick to turn anything over. Are you talking about the Americans may have found something?
No, because the Americans
didn't get there.
The Americans didn't find his remains.
Okay.
It was the enemy that found his remains. So if he had identification on him, yes, they would have taken the identification off of him to pinpoint the location where he was left or buried or whatever.
Okay.
But by no means, but they wouldn't take time to bury him. Like a proper burial.
That's what I'm told too. I know that from other cases.
Right. They would just mark the area or make a notation of the area that is remains, you know. So it could be the remains of anyone. And it was, you know, but it didn't have to, it don't have to be him. Only thing, the proof that we have is the dog tags. You know, his, you know, dog tag right there. So that would be the only thing.
So during that shooting, he was the last person in the squad. He was the last person. So he would have been shooting so that some of the other guys could get out of there. And then he would have followed.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing.
That's the idea, you know, to fire off a few shots and get out.
And that's what he was doing, what his job was.
But he didn't move fast enough or whatever, you know, or he got hit before he could, you know, get out. You know, to get out of range of fire.
Now, you had written in your book, and I'm going to ask you to read it before we get off of here, but you had written in your book that you feel that he was sort of a hero saving lives, including your own, on more than one occasion. Yeah,
on one occasion, the first occasion was shortly after I got there, probably it was in the same month. You know, it was like sub-zero weather. It was like 15 below zero. So, you know, you got to keep moving. If you go to sleep, you'll freeze, you know. So one man would watch and the other would sleep, you know, like maybe 15 minutes or so. And then, you know, you get up and move around. So it was his turn to watch. And my turn to catch a nap if you can, you know. And I just fell in, you know, automatically you fall into a deep sleep. So he woke me up. I remember him waking me up. He had to shake me. I didn't want to wake up, you know. I wanted to sleep. You know, you've been up for like 48 hours or something, you know. And so he woke me, and that was one time, yeah.
And then
that was like, you know, we done it. We always done it.
You all did that.
Yeah.
You really all did that. So you all saved each other's lives all the time, it sounds like.
Sure, because, you know, that was your only chance of survival is teamwork and firepower, really. That was the two things. So that's your main focus. You don't think about anything else. You know, you think, sure, you know, you get off town, you might think about your family. You know, and that's, yeah.
But your focus is survival of yourself and your unit.
Yeah, that's it. That's what, you know, all armies, all units.
Ooh, that's my phone ringing. Let me just stop this. Sorry. So, as far as the other time when he saved your life, it was on the mountain, it was on that ridge, and when he was shooting at the enemy so that everybody could get out, you said he's deserving of a medal for that, because really he gave his life in the line of duty.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But, you know, another thing too, you know, that was, you know, when you're on the front line, it's a different thing, you know. But then afterwards, it seemed like, you know, some of the white officers, white period, you know, they were reluctant to give us medals, you know. I guess you're familiar with that. That was during the
yes,
very segregated time, you know.
I did see that. I saw that one guy was awarded actually right on the battlefield at that time. One from the African American units.
Yeah, that's well, his duty, his performance was so just, you know, was so
distinguished.
Distinguished, yeah, at the time, you know. And that was General MacArthur who awarded him that particular Distinguished Service Cross. You know, I met him later. But, and then there was other events. There was once, the first victory in Korea was won by the 24th Infantry Regiment. And there was that, it's a book on it called Firefight at Yejon. That's YECHON. I think I sent you that book. And well, this colonel, he retired as a colonel, but he was lieutenant then. He was with the 77th Combat Engineer. You know, like those guys go out and build bridges and, you know, and things like that, you know. So he was in a position where he was, you know, where he happened to hold back a whole squad. I don't know how many. But anyway, he was credited with killing 250 men, North Korea.
And as far as Milton, you feel that Milton is deserving of a medal?
Yes, yeah, he was actually, but I didn't get to that point.
You feel that Milton is deserving of a medal or an award of some sort?
Oh, yeah, at least Silver Star, yeah.
Because, for what reason?
For that reason alone. For his last mission alone. We all distinguish that, you know, in the squad and platoon, because everyone in my platoon and squad knew of his deed. So, I don't know, rumors going that he was recommended for it, and I'm quite sure he was recommended by the platoon sergeant and the platoon leader. But that could have been as far as it went. Well, it probably went to battalion head. It could have went to a division, but somewhere along the line, you know, it get lost. Like, I was recommended for a Bronze Star. And I never knew about it until I had returned to the States. And I had a court. I screwed up a bit, and I was going for a court-martial. And that was when I saw the orders that recommended me for a Bronze Star.
And did you receive it?
I never even followed through because I didn't even care about, you know, you don't even care about stuff like that. All you want to do is get out of there.
Yeah, the soldiers don't, but people like us know that you should have it.
Yeah, now, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I sent off for the records when I was writing my book. But that wasn't listed on my Form 214. But then later on, I found that, you know, a lot of records was burned in, I think, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. All my father's records were burned there.
And the court-martial took place here in the States. So that's definitely a record of it. Whether it was among those records that was destroyed, there somewhere. There could be, more than likely, it would be with the court-martial board. What did they call it? They call it the African.
Mm-hmm.
I can't call, you know, the military, the branch of military that, you know, MPs is associated with, you know, and CID.
Yes.
I think it's African.
So nobody ever followed through with that?
No, because I never even pursued it.
I bet it's at the Library of Congress. They have all the military records there also.
Yeah, I just found that out later. I don't know whether the military, I don't know, because it really wasn't that important. You know, the most important matter to us is the combat infantry badge and my jump ring. The Purple Heart, that's not important. You know, I could have dealt without that. But you know, like to the average soldier, the CIB badge, you know, afterwards, you know, as you grow older, you know, that's because it's sort of a mark of, it's a personal thing, you know, like you did it, you know, you earned it. It's like,
you did earn it.
You don't want to earn a Purple Heart, you know.
No.
And for other medals, like medals of merit, like Bronze Star, Silver Star, Distinguished Service Medal, you know, usually you die. You don't get those while living, you know, because it's an act that you perform that's really not planned, you know, because you take most medal winners, it's something that you just do things at certain times, and then afterwards you reapproach yourself. You say, I must have been out of my bloody mind, to do that. I could have been killed. You done it. It's like I guess that applies to any human being. Like rushing in a burning building to rescue someone, and then after you say, "Damn, I don't even know them," and I did that. Well, that was Milton had no plans on dying that day, or being wounded that day, or being a hero that day. He just did what he did. It's just something that you do. You don't think about it.
Yes.
But we see afterward, yes, he deserved it. Actually, I would say he deserved definitely a Silver Star.
Can I ask you, do you have the page from your book that you wrote?
I have a copy of the book with me.
Yeah. So the statement that you wrote on, first on the foreword, it's right on the same section where the contents are.
Mm-hmm.
Right before that, on the page before that, it says it's a dedication.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dedicating the book to Sergeant Milton Bailey.
Oh, in memories of, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want to get, if I can record this, just record you reading that part from your book that you wrote and reading it with the name Sergeant Milton Bailey.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm looking now here. Now, is that the... Oh, yeah, I see, I got it, yeah. I wish to dedicate this book to Corporal E.T. Bailey, our first squad leader.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. Now, this says Corporal E.T. Bailey, but you had explained to me that you were not able to use the names that were correct.
No, I wasn't faced. So the book should read,
Sergeant.
I wish to dedicate this book to Corporal Milton Bailey.
But he was a sergeant.
Squad leader of the 1st Platoon George Company, which is G Company, 24th Infantry Regiment Combat Team. He died a true warrior's death, and his memory will live with us, the survivors.
Okay, now it says on his records that he was a sergeant.
Yeah, he was a sergeant, I guess. Oh, he was put in for sergeant.
So you had changed. You put corporal because you also weren't allowed to use exact personal information, right?
Yeah, I'm just learning about him. I know he was put in for sergeant.
So he is corporal before sergeant?
Yeah, you got to be. See, the rank goes private PFC. That's private first class, corporal, and then staff sergeant.
Oh, okay.
So he was holding the rank of corporal at his death. Oh, it could have been PFC. I don't know.
Okay, so this the only thing that's different in here is it should have said Milton instead of E.T. Can you tell me why it has a different name? Because
of the publishers, you have to get a permission of the who you're writing about. When you're writing memoirs, unless their rank is they have to be an officer above, like a lieutenant up. But with the regular enlisted men, you would have to, like private POCs, corporals, even up to sergeant. You have to get their permission to use their name, either their permission or their family permission. Before you can, I had no contact with any of his family, so I couldn't, I couldn't go that far,
What?
I couldn't use his full name, without getting their permission. So that's why I just used E.T. I don't know where I got it from.
Okay. But that whole section is meant to be about Corporal Milton Bailey.
Definitely.
And then of all the people that you served with in the military and all of your years there, and all of the experiences you had, you decided to dedicate this book to Milton Bailey.
Yeah.
What was it like? Is there one thing that was in your mind when you were writing this book that you said, I want to dedicate this book to this man?
He saved my life on the one incident I quoted earlier. Plus the fact he probably enabled the other members of our squad to get off that ridge line safely.
So,
otherwise, rather than that machine gun, the enemy machine gun, focusing on him, he would have been focusing on other people, other squadmen.
okay, so then on page 21, it's the same situation where you changed the name because of the reason you explained, because you weren't able to get in touch with, obviously, with Milton Bailey or any of his family. So instead, you changed the name from Milton to Elmer.
That's the closest. I try to sort of resemble that, but I got Corporal Elmer, but it should be Milton Bailey.
Okay, now would you mind reading that whole section from there down to the end of the page? And put the proper name in there that you were actually referring to.
Okay, the proper name, okay. Corporal Milton Bailey was our first squad leader. He was from Milton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wait a minute, stop. It's got to say Milford, Pennsylvania, because that's where he's from. So it's Milton Bailey, and it's Milford, Pennsylvania.
Well, that's what I thought I said that. Okay. Because he was named after that city, right?
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was. It's Milford with F, Milford.
Oh, well, I got that wrong because I thought it was Milton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. No, it's Milford.
Oh, okay. Because, I'm writing, I don't know. I didn't know where he came from. All I knew was from Pennsylvania,
right?
Milton.
So that's just an honest little mistake because you don't know his entire history.
No, because I couldn't do any background check on his before coming to Korea.
We really didn't have Google or anything back then. Okay, so if you could just read it correctly, starting with that corporal.
Okay, Corporal Milton Bailey, instead of Elmer Bailey, was our first squad leader. He was from Memphis, Pennsylvania, an only child who had been raised by his grandmother. Who had been raised by his grandmother. He, like the rest of us, had volunteered for combat duty in Korea. Yes, we even volunteered for the front line. We wanted to experience the excitement of fighting in a war. We wanted to know how it felt to kill an enemy soldier. We also wanted the adventures and opportunities made available in case we decided to make the military our career. I believe we would have thought differently if we had been aware of the many horrors connected with war. It's not something you go into one day and out the next. It's an everyday thing. You do the same thing every day until you are wounded to the point you're unable to function again as a soldier, or you are killed. There was always the possibility that you might survive, and it was that pitiful little ray of hope that kept you pushing on from day after day. And one day, our friend and squad leader, Corporal Milton Bailey, hopes and prayers ceased to exist. He was killed in a hail of machine gun fire. All we were supposed to do was make contact with the enemy and get the hell out of there, like we had done together so many times before. The last I remember of him, he was standing there firing his carbine and yelling from the pit of his stomach at us, his squad members, to clear the area while he provided cover fire for us. The brother had saved my life once before. If it hadn't have been for him, I would have froze to death the time I fell asleep in sub-zero temperature, like 35 below zero. There had been other times too. He had been my first foxhole buddy, partner, and schooled me and others, members of our squads and platoon, to the do's and don't do's, to the do's and don't do. He was like a big brother to us all, always looking out for the men in his squad. Now he was gone, dead. I wonder how his poor old grandmother would take it when she got the news. I guess you'll never know how he died. Like a real hero, standing his ground on a mountain ridge in a country she probably never heard of before, laying down a field of fire to enable a member of his squad a chance to clear an ambush that none of us were supposed to escape. Those of us who did survive that ambush vowed to give no quarters to our enemy afterward. After a while, I just stopped remembering the names of replacements.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be hard to read.
Yeah. Yeah, she was, But that's the, that feeling was, I guess most soldiers have, experienced the same feeling. Like if you die, and it's a great possibility that you die, you want to die like a soldier, like a man. We didn't call each other warriors because everyone was warriors. The Chinese, the North Korean, any of you your opponents, they're warriors too. So we just addressed each other as soldiers. I doubt if you even hear, soldiers don't call each other warriors. It's the civilian and, the news media, they're the one who give us the name warrior, I don't know if you got what I'm at.
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one more thing, and I'll probably have to do this one more time, but I did want to ask you, Curtis, the group that you were in has a historic background all the way back to the Civil War times, the Buffalo Unit. Yes. And the Buffalo Unit started in the Civil War, right?
Yeah, they fought. They fought during the Civil. During the Civil War, there was a few black outfits. I think one was called the 54th. You heard of those? They was up from I think your area, up in Pennsylvania area.
There was something called the Blossoms from our area too.
Yeah, well, so when the war ended, when the Civil War ended, they took all those units to put them in one unit, which was the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 24th Infantry, regiment. They put them in one unit because there was no integrated units at that time. So that's what happened. That's how it's on that statement I sent you.
Right.
It gets complete listing of the 24th Infantry Regiment, how they became Buffalo soldiers, and then after that, during the struggle to win the West, the Buffalo soldiers was used to subdue the American Indian,
but it was disbanded after your time, yours and Milton. It was disbanded at the end of your service time, right?
What?
Was that unit disbanded?
Yeah, it was deactivated. Yeah.
During your time?
Yeah, you see, Truman had issued an order to deactivate, to disband all segregated unit. You got it? You know, so, and he gave the order in 1945, but, you know, the military delayed it up until, so finally his order was executed during the Korean War. And the 24th was the last unit of the original Buffalo soldiers.
And that's yours. 20.
So we served with that unit the last year. Milton, you know, 24th unit, we served with them the last year before it was, you know, it was deactivated a few days before I was removed from the front line. You know, the reason I say why I was removed, you know, by wounds, I was pulled back because of wounds. You know, so it was, I think it was September the 1st that the unit was finally deactivated. No, October. But I was removed from the front line September the 1st. A month before, you know, it was finally deactivated.
You were wounded?
You're getting blurry. I can't.
Yeah, I think I'm losing you. I'm going to stop it for now, Curtis, and I thank you so much. I will definitely be back in touch with you.
Okay, nice talking. Yeah, we can, to be continued.
Yes, to be continued. Thank you very, very much.
All right, you're more than welcome.